Joining us to talk about that and what will go on with the celebration, some historical connections between our community and Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian, is Christy Forhan. Christy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Tyler. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on to talk about this 150th anniversary of the church. Actually, just Thursday this week was the official 150th anniversary of when the church was dedicated. Take us through some of the history behind this location and why it's been such a staple in our community for a century and a half.
Well, 150 years plus one day as of yesterday. Our church was founded originally by Colin and Caroline Campbell. And if you are familiar with Apple Island in the center of Orchard Lake, excuse me, you might know that the Campbells owned Apple Island from 1856 to 1915, and they made it their summer family destination. And being very devout Christians, they would host daily worship services in their parlor. Well, Caroline in particular felt the call to make a more permanent place of Christian worship as the community grew around the lake. So in 1871, our cornerstone was laid, and we still have that same cornerstone. It's still in the foundation of the chapel. It took about 3 years, but the chapel was finally finished in 1874, and that is what we are celebrating. It's 150 continuous years of Christian worship on the shores of Orchard Lake.
And it's going to be a big celebration. Of course, you'll have the regular Sunday worship on Sunday morning, but immediately after that, the celebration begins with quite a big event. And not only is it going to be a big celebration and a lot of fun for the community around the church and in the local area, but it's also going to incorporate a little bit of history into it too. Specific elements like bagpipes and bell tolling. Can you explain why those elements are playing an important role in this celebration?
Sure. Yeah, we are having a regular worship service, but it's going to be enhanced with some special music. The bagpipes are a nod to the Scottish heritage of the Campbells. They are Scottish immigrants. They were Scottish immigrants to the Detroit area. So the bagpipes are a nod to that. We have a bell that is not typically rung, but it's been in our steeple since the 40s. We are going to ring that 150 times, and then guests have the opportunity after the worship, if they would like to ring our bell, we can escort you to the bell tower and you can pull the rope in true Quasimodo fashion. We are going to have a light lunch with an ice cream social immediately following the worship in the historic chapel. Everyone is included, everyone is invited. You don't have to pre-register, there's no fee, just come, have a sandwich, have some ice cream. And then we are unveiling a permanent historic exhibit, like a museum quality exhibit of the history of the church in the chapel, which we now refer to as Heritage Hall. And then to cap the event off, we have really excited to have our special guest speaker, Dr. Catherine Kangany. Katie Kangany is the triple great granddaughter of Colin and Caroline Campbell. So she is very authentically connected to the history of Apple Island, the Campbells, and our church. She is a trained historian and, as I said, a true family connection, and she will be speaking on the history of the church and our sanctuary. So it's a good day. We're going to keep things moving so nobody feels like if things are dragging along. We're going to keep you moving. We've got Sunday school available for the little ones who are restless. The nursery will be open, and we also have guided tours of the church campus available that day.
Yeah, and it's an interesting event too, and having that discussion from Dr. Kangany is going to be really cool because it's not only forming those connections over 150 years within that community in the church, but also between the church and our community and its history too. And you're right. A history buff yourself. You love our local history. You're a historical society member. So for someone like you that has both of those connections, how does this tie in as something that makes this even more special for you, Christy?
Yeah, well, it really is. My husband and I have been members of this church for over 30 years, and I am a docent for the Apple Island Tours for the Historical Society, and to be able to stand on the island looking at the foundation of the Campbell family home and knowing that, 150 years ago, these folks were sitting there having their Vespers and singing their hymns and, bringing that to the lakeshore and then being in that same space. I mean, we just recently uncovered or discovered some of the original nails. We were doing some renovation work, and there's original nails that will be on display. And just being able to touch that history. We have the original Bible that was donated and dedicated as part of the 1874 service. We have the original communion decanter. We have some of the original communion cups. So yeah, it's a pretty neat connection. And you can stand in our gathering space and you can see Apple Island. So from the church to the island is such a direct connection. And we're just so really honored to be able to celebrate God's faithfulness for 150 years in one day.
Christy Forhan is with us on the Splash Live, a member of Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian. They will celebrate their 150th anniversary this weekend on Sunday. You can learn even more information about that by visiting their website. And Christy, as someone that has been a member of this church for 30 years, you've built those connections within the church community, but that, as we said, the church has also formed so many connections outside of the walls that it worships within. What do you think has sustained this community for 150 years and kept it going? Because that doesn't just happen effortlessly.
Right. Well, it's really the commitment, the dedication of congregants who believe it's important to have a faith community. It's God's faithfulness to this community. We've been through good times and bad, strong economic times, times of family grief. We have a support network, as most faith communities do. When you need a hand or you have a joy to celebrate, there are people around you who are part. I mean, we truly take that concept of family to heart. So I think it's having meaningful connections, meaningful activities, ways people can serve the community. We have a men's softball team right now that is playing over in West Bloomfield. A summer women's Bible study. We have our youth group today is coming home from rehabbing homes in Tennessee. So we have a lot of different ministry teams and activities, and that's been true for all those years, ways for people to join together in faith, but also in fellowship and community, and just find a place where they can connect and belong.
You can learn more about the 150th anniversary celebration at Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian, olccp.com. Their Sunday worship is at 10 a.m. And just after that, around 11:15, will be the afterward celebration with their lunch, their ice cream social, and so much more learning activities at the church. Christy, as you reflect on your years as a member of the church and your family's years of membership and connection there, what are some of your personal favorite memories that you've collected over those years?
Wow, so many. Well, I guess my 3 children were all baptized at the church. My daughter was married at the church. We have many, many longtime friends at the church. My husband and I have both served in leadership positions. I ring handbells. Which don't consider myself a musician, but I can count to 4. So that's a way I can celebrate music in the church. It's just really, it's a place where newcomers are welcome, and folks who have been here for 30 or 40 or 50 or more years really have established themselves as part of our community. So I just want to point out, this is a special celebration on Sunday, but church is always open. You don't need an invitation like this. We don't need to send you a postcard. Just come on in. We do Sunday worship in the summertime on the lake at 8:30 in the morning, which is spectacular because you're looking over the sunrise of Orchard Lake, and then 10 o'clock in the sanctuary. So I hope you join us.
I will be out there. Christy will capture the moments for those that cannot join the community out at Orchard Lake Community Church Presbyterian on Sunday. Before we let you go, anything else that people should know about this celebration, or if they want to get some insight into this community that's now sustained itself for 150 years and more?
Yeah, I should point out our celebration is going to cap off with a Founders Weekend in September. So on Friday, September 13th, we have a Christian youth concert with a performer named DJ Code. If your kids have been to Spring Hill Christian Camp, they probably raved about DJ Code. He's extremely popular with the kids. So he will be live in performance at our church on Friday, September 13th. We will have a family fun activity on Saturday, September 14th, and then we're going to have a classic outdoor church worship service and potluck on Sunday, September 15th. And that will actually take place at Orchard Lake Country Club. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to pre-register. You just follow us on Facebook, follow us on the website, sign up for our e-newsletter, and you could get all the details and just drop in any day.
olccp.com is their website. You can also follow the church on OLCCP on Facebook. Their 150th anniversary celebration is happening this Sunday morning. Christy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Have a fabulous day.